Hello everyone. In this semester we are going to have organic chemistry lab together. I hope I can help you to learn whatever you need to know about the organic chemistry lab in this semester. For the first session, we are going to review safety and organic chemistry at organic chemistry labs. We need to know those safety before start working at organic chemistry labs. So we are going to review safety and laboratory organization, and then we are going to show you some areas in the lab as a tool. What are the overall goals that we are seeking in this session? We want to improve safety among undergrad students. We want to make them aware of possible accident when they are working in the lab, and we need to increase the knowledge about the using highly reactive reagent. And we want to show you how to keep labs clean and well organized. Okay, let's see what is going to come in following. You see that accident is going to happen anytime. We need to be aware of the safety in order to prevent those accidents. These are two examples of accident that happened for a graduate student and for a professor. At UCLA, a graduate student at Department of Chemistry, she died because of that accident. And Safety and Health Agency of the state, they put the accusation at university because they didn't train the students and they didn't know how to work with the butyl lithium, which is very vulnerable for fire and accident. And another example is for a professor. She died when she was working at the lab. So we need to know about safety because it keeps us safe while we are working at the lab. These are emergency contacts that you need to know if something happened, and when you are calling, first you are going to call 911 and then campus police, safety office, and Dr. Mighty. That you can call them. These are the number. You need to know those numbers. Why we need to know safety? Why safety is important? First of all, it keeps us safe. As we are working in the lab, uh, as we are working in the lab, uh, it it may happen that sometimes uh, we make some issues, but when we know the safety, we can keep ourselves and everyone safe. Because we need to prohibit from exposure to chemicals, organism, and disease. And we need to know that the lab equipment are hazards, and we need to handle them properly. Okay, let's see what are the safety rules for organic lab. First of all, you need to wear safety goggles. You cannot start working without safety goggles. You cannot bring food and drinks inside the lab, and you need to wear closed toe shoes before start working in the lab. You need to know that you can just work inside the lab at the time allotted for you, not further time you can work inside the lab. You need to know where is the location of the fire extinguisher, where is the safety equipment, and where is the nearest exit. And you need to know where you can throw broken glassware, and you need to also know uh, that you cannot taste or smell chemicals anytime. It's very dangerous. You need to know that you should avoid contact of chemicals with your skin, because you need to wear gloves at the time that you are gonna handling those chemicals. You need to dispose chemicals at the desired uh, location, at the location that is shown for the for the waste materials. After you've done with your experiment, you need to clean and wash the dishes, and you need to be aware of everything that you work with them. So put the paper trash and broken glass in their specific containers, and also keep the balance and uh, the balancing room clean. Okay, so these are the safety rules: goggles, gloves, lab coat. Anytime you should wear them. You need to know where is the eye wash. You need to know where is the safety shower, and you need to know where is the fire extinguisher. And you need to know that you cannot wear short, you cannot wear slipper or anything other than closed shoes. How we can improve the safety in the undergrad organic chemistry laboratories? Safety first. Before using any new reagent, chemicals, or instrument, you need to ask us how to use them. Is it safe to use them? To further improve your knowledge regarding your organic chemistry experiment, you need to talk with us, and you need to talk with your instructor about how you can use that reagent. So, example of situation in the laboratory. When the safety officer came and they find out two students, they were working at the lab without safety precautions, and they didn't pay attention to the rules, so they were suspended from going to the lab. And so those students, they took water bottles to the lab, and they didn't use eye protections. Uh, corrective measures for the safety. So those students, again, uh, they had to go to the safety classes. They need to review the review what they didn't pay attention, and so uh, these are important to pay attention. So as you see, it's very in bad it's not organized well, in the bad shape, and just a student left them beside the sink, didn't wash them, they didn't take out the paper towels, and everything is just messed up. So this is another example. You see that a student didn't pay attention to the safety. They just left glassware and funnel, everything besides the sink. They didn't uh, put them in the proper location. And this is another example that the student uh, just left glassware besides the sink, and it should not repeat. You see that the student left balance dirty after they use, and it's very bad because nobody knows what are those powder, how they should clean the area, because when I don't know what the powders are, um, it may it may it may cause some problem, and it's very bad. And the student, they just left the paper, everything inside the uh, balancing room. That's another example that they left the chemicals uh, and they didn't close the chemicals, and they didn't take the chemicals to the initial locations. That's a very bad issue. And you need to know that the balancing room should be clean every time, because another group is going to come and use the balancing room. Okay, students learn what is aqueous waste, what are the halogen waste, and what are the non-halogen waste. When you have a waste, you need to know what are the waste container for that specific chemicals, and you cannot pour the halogenated waste into halogenated waste, because it makes problem. These are the container for the chemicals, for the waste chemicals, but you see these are two glassware that they don't have a name. What are the chemicals inside, and they just student put them there carelessly. So it's a bad things for the safety. And again, you see that the student left the pipettes and inside the fume hood, but it should not happen again. They should throw them to the waste box for those pipettes. So that's the corrective measure that they need to know, how they clean the pipette, or how to, if they are broken, how to waste them, throw them into the waste container. And again, those chemicals just left carelessly, and students, they didn't pay attention. So uh, every document needs to put in front of the waste container. Students need to know how to waste their matter, how to organize their work, how to throw out their waste materials. And these are the papers in front of the container that it's showing what are inside the containers. And these are the places that you can throw the broken glassware. And this is another example of um, uh, not paying attention to the rules, not paying attention to the safety, everything. They didn't organize when they finished their work, and they didn't clean the fume hood after they've done with their experiments. You see that the heater is for 5B, but the power is for group 6B. Everything is just messed up, and it's a very bad example of non-organized condition. Another example is, you can see that the student just left the um, heater at the fume hood. They didn't place it in the proper location in the fume hood after they've done their work. So students need to organize the fume hood using the color coding of the items, as you see. The equipment for A should be moved to the fume hood 4, not stay in the fume hood 3. That's why it was against the safety. And students need to know the glassware in the where is the glassware in the kits. um, they should keep them clean after they've done with the experiment. The kits need to be in their assigned locations, and uh, after a student they've done their work, they need to put the kits at that location. So a student cannot leave the synthesized chemicals in the cabinet without labeling them, just uh, putting them without proper label, without proper name, and that's a bad that's a bad sign of that that the student didn't take care of the safety. And as you see that uh, there are some empty cabinets, and you need to know how to clean the glassware, how to clean the flask before you leave them in the lab. So, um, as mentioned, these are the emergency contacts you need to know at the time of accident to call.